The year 2023 will always be remembered in the history of the keyboard hobby. We finally got an aluminum-made custom barebones kit within $50 range for the very first time. Yes, $50. In 2021, I bought this Faker IK75 kit for $50 made of plastic, and I was surprised to have such a great stuff for that price. It's so great to see this hobby becoming more and more accessible to the people, and so many excellent budget stuffs are coming in right and left. Budget keyboards like these are taking the keyboard hobby into a whole new level. Yes, this video is all about the Sugar65 that has taken the keyboard community by surprise. Sugar65 is a 65% keyboard kit that is made out of CNC aluminum case, is gasket mounted, PCB is 5-pin hot swap with south-facing RGB LED and flex cut. The stock plate is FR4 and there is this rotary knob made out of CNC aluminum at the top right. The tabs are plate mounted and comes in factory tuned. There is this lovely side accent. The edges of the case are rounded and it has a typing angle of 6.5 degrees. At the bottom, the Sugar logo is engraved. It weighs 1.1 kg unbuilt and 1.4 kg after being built with cherry keycaps and some mods. The board is available in multiple colorways and pre-built variants are also available with Weikav's own switches. There's no doubt that this keyboard has a stunning look. The whole kit comes in pre-assembled, so it is ready to be used right away. I would like to thank Unaware for sending me this keyboard. They have sent me the silver Sugar65 along with Leobog Graywood V4 switches and a nice set of black on white double chat PVT keycaps. Don't forget to use my code to get a special price on all these items. Check the link in the description for more. Okay, now let's take a deep dive into the kit itself before building it. As I've said earlier, the PCB is flex cut, which supports not only the NC layout but also ISO and split spacebars. Not many budget boards do that. The hot swap sockets that are used are made by JWIC or JWK, and this is the first time I've seen this. It should be on the same par with Kyle hot swap sockets. The PCB is programmable with the software. You can map keys, modify secondary layers, macros, and most importantly, the RGB. It also has 1000 Hz pulling rate and NK arrow like all the other boards out there. The Sugar65 uses a gasket mounting style using gasket socks on the plate. This is very similar to that of QK65. During my test, I have found that this board exhibits a dynamic sound profile. You'll get to hear those during the sound test. So there are various foams made out of Poron and IXP sheet to make the board sound good. So I went for this first build on the live stream and these are the footage from there. With the keycaps and switches I got, I went for a full stock build to see how much it's usable in its out-of-the-box configuration. The Leobog Graywood V3 switch was one of my favorite and I was really excited to try the V4 on an FR4 plate to see how it sounded. There are a few things. Firstly, the board doesn't sound fuller. This could be due to the flex cut PCB. The spacebar stabs had a bit of a rattle. Opening up the board is super easy as you will get this hex screwdriver inside of the box. After opening up the board, you can also see that there is a noticeable gap between the PCB and the side case. So I went for the usual tape mod. Then I used the polyfill inside of the case. But keep in mind that inserting polyfill inside of the case would result in lesser flex. Also, I tuned the stock stabilizers again with dielectric grease and Krytox 205 grade 0. Also, since it's a budget keyboard, you can also resort to the force break mode to eliminate any sorts of ping coming due to the friction between top and the bottom case. So this is how it sounds now. Yes, it sounds a lot better and fuller with mods. So if you're someone who loves a soft, flexi typing experience, this is one of those boards. Oh, and those of you who are wondering what is the main difference between the Leobog Graywood V3 and V4, well, it's the sound. The V3 is talky while the V4 sounds clacky. So it's time to try out new keycaps, plates, switches and foam config combinations. This board also has a polycarbonate plate sold separately. So let's see how the board sounds now with an array of switches. It's evident that this keyboard sounds good with the right approach of the tuning and switch combo. Plus, the availability of various plates give this board quite a dynamic sound experience like I've said earlier. The FR4 plate mostly skews towards the high pitch and clack, whereas the polycarbonate plate gives the board a more soft typing experience and deep talk. My daily driving experience has been good so far with this one. While everything is great about this keyboard, there are some nitpicking I would like to do. Not that they are deal breakers by any means, but you should keep them in mind. Number 1. No screen stabilizers. This is an ongoing trend among the cheap Chinese boards. They could have give insertions in the PCB to put in screen stabilizers, so that if someone wanted to, they could have put in. I mean, even the budget cheaper kits like MK870 had those. Although the plate mounted stabilizers are pretty good these days, They're easy to take apart and tune, but an option to put in screen tabs would have been excellent. Number 2. The aluminum case has its fair share of issues. You do have to keep that in mind. Although advertised as anodized, the coating has an overly aggressive texture, causing it to get dirty. Judging from my experience, I think it's not anodized. It's not a big deal, but do keep that in mind. I wish the finishing were a lot better, but it is what it is. Other than all this, it is a super board and I think you can pull the trigger on this without any doubt. It's pretty usable at stock, and for advanced users, the board has a colossal potential to tune it as per personal likings. It's also relatively easy to open, and the presence of custom plates like polycarbonate makes it worth a while. Also, for someone who is into pre-built stuff, folks who don't want to take the hassle of building their board, Sugar is also available in the pre-built variant. Also in the market, there are similar pre-built stuffs from the likings of Yunmang, Yunzi, and Monka. It will be interesting to see how they stack up in a future video of mine. To understand, you can see the impressions on my channel, which are in the card at the top somewhere. Let's chase the good days of budget custom keyboards while they last. I love the path the budget keyboard hobby is taking. And this sort of approach is making the hobby more accessible to people. And that's what I'm loving about the current trend. And I'm sure this is not going to be the last that's gonna shake the keyboard hobby. I have a lot more of such great budget keyboard reviews coming soon, so stay tuned to my channel for those. With that, goodbye and have a great day.